What's going on, Star Wars fans?
Hello there.
It is Wednesday. We are back. Nick and Derek are here. It's like backwards, I guess. So, glad to have you guys back. We missed you last week, but we had a fun conversation, a little round table with John and Brandon from Clan Mandalorian. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you keep getting like guests that are just significantly better looking than I am every week. Thanks to them for filling in. It was a great show. I loved listening to it.
Thanks, guys.
They're good dudes. They have a great podcast as well. So
totally.
But, let's say hello to who's in here. I know Max is already in here. He was making the countdown for us, so appreciate that. Max Lane is here from Harmony. Hello. 7:30 Evie, thank you for joining us. And Jessica is here from Harmony as well. I'm guessing or maybe unless they're on vacation or something somewhere else. I'm guessing they're both from in Harmony. April is here. Welcome, April. The hunt for Ben Solo. Let's go. So we got a bunch of people in here already tonight. Mike's going to be about 20 minutes late. So I know we're gonna start off. Nathan, welcome. Nice, everybody jumping on. I wasn't sure how we were going to do tonight, so I'm glad that everybody's jumping in and saying hello. And we got a cool show. If you guys saw the thumbnail, I was just going over a bunch of stuff. I know there's some new leaks and different things about all the stuff that's coming out with Star Wars Starfighter and Ahsoka season 2 and Jedi 3, which is going to be awesome. So looking forward to that. Again, I don't do the games as much as I watch, so it might take me, I guess they usually put them out pretty quick. I do like the whole watch scene instead of playing it. Oh, look, I got some purple tonight. I was thinking about Mace Windu. I was like, oh that's
yeah.
Cool. I put some purple in that. Maybe you can see it a little bit. But anyways, so yes, Jedi 3, Journey to Alderaan. Max is such a smart ass. Holly, hello, welcome. So, let's just start off with Jedi 3. Have you guys both played the first 2 Jedi games?
The day they came out. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I do not have
go ahead. Sorry.
I don't have a console of any kind, but I've watched it, and I watched Austin play most of the second one. So
nice.
Well, you know what's great is like now you can get like Xbox Game Pass on a laptop. You can play cloud gaming if you have. Oh, this is actually cool. If you have a VR headset like a Meta Quest, you can play cloud gaming on your Meta Quest. So you can actually like have VR. Now you're not like looking around in there. It's like a IMAX screen, but it's still pretty amazing. Plus you can get a console, or like I've got way too many gaming things. The wonders of my job. But I also have an Asus Ally, and it's like a handheld thing. It's kind of like a Steam Deck. So there's a bunch of different companies that make them, but it's a computer, but it's like a controller is built onto it. Amazing. So you have no excuse, Ron.
No, I would be buried. I would not stop playing it. And that's the thing. I had the very first game. I don't even know what it was related to, or what's I don't even know what they're called. PS2 and Xbox and console. I had the console that had the long thing where it mirrored you, and you could dance in the cantina, and you could you held it, only held your hand. You could only see your hand with the lightsaber. Obviously this was a long time ago, but I'd rather just watch the 3-hour version of somebody breaking it down, which is pretty cool. So what's up, Steve? My buddy Steve. I gotta say this real quick. I just I was going through Instagram and I saw him. He posted, so he actually sent something to me. He got a 3D printer and he's making these cool things, like the thing behind me here. Damn, it's going the wrong way. Anyways, the whole little Death Star thing, and he's making little ones to go along with his ships and stuff. And I was like, that's so cool that you're able to do those type of things nowadays, which is pretty cool. So he's playing Survivor.
See all the
right
lightsabers. Now. Yeah, we've got one of the kids at the tech center that I run that every time he comes in, he's making a lightsaber, which is almost every day now. Like, I have gone through so much filament, and I have no problem with that. I mean, last I knew he was up to like 12 sabers, and sometimes he'll paint them and just he's into it. And I'm just like, yep. He's like, do you care if I print another one? I'm like, print all the sabers you want.
That's awesome. That's
He
awesome.
just did the dark saber and it turned out really well.
Nice.
That's cool. So if Jedi 3 is the end of Cal Kestis' story, I'm guessing this is Respawn? Is that the name of the company that does it? Yeah. Should they keep, and I think I know the answer to this, but I want each of us to talk about it. Should they keep him isolated from the larger Star Wars universe, or should they finally connect him directly to Ahsoka and Luke and the New Republic?
Yeah, because he's the perfect age. He's a great character. He's a great actual actor. That's why they have him. Like, come on. I've been fighting for this since day one, since the first game came out, since he was at Celebration, at the last Celebration. Like, come on. You guys are dragging this out, and they're going to give it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, I mean, with Cameron Monaghan, he's there. Like you said, Derek, he's the same age as he would be if he came to the universe now, which is cool. Great actor. He's involved. He was involved with DC being the Joker. I mean, if you haven't seen that, go watch. Was it Gotham? I think. Go watch Gotham, and he plays a great Joker in that. But just to have him in the universe to add to a new Jedi into the Mandoverse would be cool, I think, and just bringing him to fruition in reference to all of the things that he could be tied to, and those are the things I think are cool, especially with Ahsoka and Dathomir, with what's his girlfriend's name, Derek?
Marin.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nick, either one. Somebody. But yeah, having Marin there, it would be really cool to also have Asajj and Marin, not hook up, but hook up somehow, and
yeah, I'm in. I like this idea.
If they don't already, but I think that would be cool.
I think there might be a movie on the internet like that.
Anyways, Nick, what do you think?
Did I make you blush?
I agree.
When we get this big cancellation.
I agree that seems like an odd move to bring in like a legitimate actor to it, to not use them in a project. I don't know why. I just kind of hesitate to think that at this point of where the Mandoverse is at, that they'll plant him in. That's why a couple weeks ago when we were talking about like how many more Mandoverse projects do we have,
right?
Would sort of like dictate my likelihood of what I think the chances of him coming in at that time period is. Otherwise, I could totally see them in some other project we don't know about bringing him through. I just think it's a weird move. I guess they did it with Sam Witwer though. Weird move to do like a basically motion capture of a real actor performing the thing and make a big deal of it, have him at Celebration, all that kind of stuff, to then like not do something with it. All that being said though, I hope if they bring him into the Mandoverse that it really matters and that he's not just like, here he is. I'd rather him like have a story where he's almost kind of central. You know what I mean? Like he is in the game, because he's a great character. So I don't want him to be like a pop in and pop out, and then we don't see him for a while.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, and I don't think they'll do that. He's become such a big cog in the Star Wars universe now with just being in a game. And I don't mean that negatively, just being in a game, but being in a game, everybody wants him to come on here. Derek, you mind putting up a poll and see if who wants Cameron Monaghan to come to live action?
If anyone says no, I'm coming after you. So like I don't even want to do this poll. I'm gonna do it because Ron asked me to, but I don't want to do it. Okay.
I'm interested. So yeah, go over there and let us know what you guys think. Do you want Cal Kestis in there? I know Steve said he's playing the game now. Max Rebo's already out of 2. I know Steve's played it, but does everybody else in here play the games? And if so, which ones do you guys like? I know there's a bunch of them out now, and we got a couple new ones coming out this year. But I think the biggest announcement right now is just everybody's excited about Jedi 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and having those characters come to live action, I think would bring some of those gaming people that maybe aren't huge like live action or animation Star Wars fans. I think that could bring them over to that side and be like, oh, okay, cool. Now that he's in the Mandoverse, I want to go back and I want to watch Ahsoka. I want to watch the Mandalorian. And I think that will help, even boost up the Disney Star Wars a little bit more, because to see him, even though he's not Disney yet, he will be, obviously. Well, I guess he technically is if he's in Star Wars. So, but,
yeah, I mean, I think people will go crazy either way, because like you both said, he's a great character, and you wouldn't be getting a third highly anticipated game without a good story. It's also the only like game since maybe Battlefront 2, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Outlaws had a story, but like you're playing the Jedi games for pretty much just the campaign, right? Like just the story. This is not like a online go and play it all the time with your friends sort of thing, which is kind of a lost art, I would say, these days. Is that correct, Derek?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in games. And so I think before we even think about him coming to live action, I bet Jedi 3's storyline is going to kick ass and probably tie in to a lot of the things that we haven't seen yet or have seen, which that will be sort of like what we're basing his likelihood of where he shows up to be. Because I mean, the second story kicked more ass than the first one. I think the third one's going to be big, especially we're pretty sure this is the last one, I'm assuming. So
yeah, but I thought that the last one was the last one.
True, right.
I didn't think we'd get 3. I really didn't think we were going to get 3.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at all.
Yeah. I like Max Rebo's idea too, this one right here. In a pre-original trilogy Path series where he's working on the Path, maybe a little Asajj Ventress help, maybe a little Quinlan Voss help.
Oh, absolutely.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, you could definitely bring him into the Path, which I think would be cool. And that brings me to the next question, which I think sort of ties in. If he does come to, which again, I think we all think that, or assuming that he's going to be coming here into the live action, what would be the most satisfying ending for Cal Kestis? Sacrifice, survival and hiding, or becoming a master Jedi who helps rebuild the Order after Return of the Jedi?
None of the above. I want to see. No, I'm serious. I want to see him do something with Thrawn, and I stand by what I said in that last episode I was on. That I think it'd be amazing if Thrawn exits the galaxy, and Cal goes with him for some reason or another, and that explains why he's not in the sequels.
Right.
Yep.
That's true.
I think it'd be great. We already know that Thrawn has had other Jedi type people go after him and get lost. And if Thrawn has to go home,
if Thrawn could get a Jedi on his side, I think that's something that he would approve of. To have somebody come to his side, whether we think Baylan and Shin were, I don't think they were really Sith, and obviously Baylan wasn't a Jedi before, but he didn't mind him being around. So I think that's definitely possible. But I think my answer to this, I think, would be to see him, become a Jedi Knight so that he can go on to help, build this new order, and then at some point we're going to have to see him, sacrifice or do something else along that lines. As much as I think that story would be cool with Thrawn, I don't know if the normie fans would understand that. Where us with the lore and everything else would be a really cool story to go into and again explain why he's not in some of these different things. But I think it would be cool to see him in that situation.
Yeah, the other reason why I think it could happen or something along those lines is because he's on Dathomir. He's doing all of these things already, and he's already conflicted with the Jedi of how the old Jedi were. And so, and he's seen so many things in the games where, like, you know, he's seen Jedi that have strayed, and he has also used the dark side. Like, don't forget, Cal has used the dark side. So This is why I think he's not going to start a Jedi Order or even work with one. I think something else is going to happen. I hope. And I hope that if he does leave or something happens with Thrawn, that we're going to get a lot more of him in something else.
Yeah. And Holly's got a good point. A book would be cool to sort of explain some things, you know, like we've talked about before on here. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, what's that poll say besides
it says
Max?
Yes, and Max put no, and then I put yes again. Also, Ron, your shirt really threw me off because you had a part of it behind the microphone and it just looked like it said F Vader, and I was like, whoa, aggressive, watch out, that's my guy. Yeah.
You can't say that.
Can't say that yet.
We can say it 4 times.
We got 4.
We each get one.
Use it wisely.
You don't have to use them. Like,
we don't have
the option.
In case one slips out. Mike slipped out last week, which was actually pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. What else how long do you think before this game will come out, Derek? How long do they usually in between? How long in between?
Late 2027 at the absolute earliest. Like, honestly, I think it's probably going to be 2028.
Yeah, but don't you think that they've sort of I'm sure they've had like the whiteboard, sort of like Filoni does, you know, had that up there and had a bunch of ideas and stuff, and I'm sure they've sort of pretty much had it ready to roll.
I bet the game is probably already scripted and they're already working on it. Because if they make that announcement, the game has to be in production because it takes so long to make them. I mean, look at like Grand Theft Auto. Well, we're on like year 10, and the new one still isn't coming out. Now it's also, you know, Rockstar Games is horrendous, but they're already working on it. I would not be a bit surprised if they haven't already shot all the scenes or a vast majority of them.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is it true? One of the like articles that, or I guess news that came out like last week, that the Old Republic game just got its writer. Like they nailed down who's writing it.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I saw that. I thought on Star Wars Newsnet. So in that case, like they put out the little Revan teaser for that a couple of years ago, and like if that's true, they just got a writer for it. So like I feel like Derek said, with some gaming timelines, it could be quick, it could be forever, or like we could get these random 2 games that look awesome, the racing game and then the what's the other one, the ones that just got announced that look great, that'll be ready to go soon, and then you have things like Eclipse, which just like everyone kind of decided isn't going to happen, but it's still happening, but it's not, you know, that sort of thing. I feel like Jedi is important enough that when they announce it, they've got it, at least some of it rolling already. Like it was so successful that there's no way that they make the announcement and they're not already teeth in it already.
Well, and that's my thing. Go ahead, Derek.
I was going to say, and Cameron's going to be at Celebration again.
Right.
I mean, you know he is. So like, I foresee something big with that. I mean, it's something huge, really. But it'd be even bigger if, again, he's in some live action thing before any of that happens. Like, could you imagine if he's in a live action before we have the next Celebration, and then the game comes out?
That would be cool, but unless they kept that freaking secret for Ahsoka. That's the only thing that live action that we're going to get that we would actually see him in. Which
Done it before.
Yeah. And that would be cool as hell to have him pop up in Ahsoka, at the beginning of next year, which would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That would juice the game quite a bit. Not that it
Yeah.
needs it, but
No.
Oh, for sure. No, but it definitely would put it over the top, and like Steve was saying that, these games are so big, just the things that you can go through and the places you can go, which I think is really cool. And that's the fun part about just watching it, is I don't have to try to get there 20 times and die 20 times, and then just keep on trying, or find some cheat codes or pay money so that I can get on to the next section of the game, because that's what I would be spending all my money. I'm like, okay, I'm done. But yeah, I think that would be awesome if they secretly got him into Ahsoka, even if they got him into Ahsoka just for at least for Ahsoka, maybe an in and out type of thing to sort of introduce us to him, and then he comes in full time, in the Dave movies, or maybe we get a live action. I think we have to get, if they're not gonna, nobody's announced anything for Skeleton Crew 2 or Kenobi. A lot of these things are being talked about right now, but there's nothing in production. There's nothing that's firm. So if those aren't going there, hopefully maybe they got a new one that they're coming out with. I'd love to see a new live action, something like that would be cool. Again, with the path where you could take him and put him in that along with Quinlan and Asajj and bring some of these new characters that we know back in, or even into live action, even though Quinlan's been in live action. But to bring Asajj and Cameron, into that would be really cool, I think.
Derek, when in Jedi 2, when it ends, did we close the book on Tanalorr, like the secret planet? Is that done? Is the loop closed? Or is that sort of a TBD thing?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Because they kind of teed that up as like a great way to like save people, right? And kind of his life mission.
Exactly. And that's again where I think like this could be a Thrawn thing. This could be maybe Grogu.
Right.
There's so much they can do with it still. Like I thought that it was over after the end of that game. They closed it. That game closed the book. Yeah, I can't say how many times I never thought we'd get a third.
Right. And
really,
it kind of has like the same. Let me know what you think, Derek. But it kind of has in some way, maybe even a little more significant thing as At-Aten has in Skeleton Crew. Like the existence of this planet could change a lot. Tanalorr did anyway.
So and Holly said it's still there.
Yeah. So I'm going to butcher this, but basically like no one knows how to get to it except now, like Cal Kestis and friends. Right. Is that kind of the deal? So similar to At-Aten, it's kind of strategically important for some of the things going on at that time. Now, obviously it's much earlier and it's for a different reason. But that's kind of a big deal thing that, like, I think should probably have a big role in the third game, and to know like what his motivations are or what's at risk with that, because the big dogs come after him twice, Vader. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that would be a cool tie-in, I think, as well, which would be awesome for sure. And you could explain that again in a few sentences or somebody talking about it. It's funny that we always talk about maybe there's no explanation for this or that, or we have to try to make sure that the normie fans understand what's going on. And as I continue to watch, which I'm sure most of us do, whether it's on a daily basis or if it pops up on TNT or TBS for Memorial Day weekend, but I was watching, I guess it's Boba Fett's last book of Boba Fett's. It's the last episode, where they're going up against the Pikes and all that, and I forget the name of them, but Peli actually the gunships that sort of walk sort of like spiders, and they have the dome around them and stuff, and they're just destroying everybody, and have no idea what those were because we never saw them before until the Pikes brought them to Mos Espa or Tatooine or whatever, and we didn't know what they were called. But while they're all getting chased by this, and Pelly's in that little rickshaw cart and everything, and they're flying around the town, she says, "We're getting chased by I can't think of the name of it, but she says it." And that's something cool in there because we don't have any idea what it is, but just throwing that little bit of information tells us exactly what that is when it's new. So when Cal Kestis comes to live action, they'll be able to do that, I think, as they did with Maul and as they did with Mandalorian and Grogu. Go ahead.
I was just gonna look them up real quick because I thought they might have been in a Clone Wars episode.
I thought so too. But Holly makes a good point. You need Force users to get to Tantalum.
Yes, that's it. Max has got it.
Yeah, like the Skywalkers. Not like Skywalker, like Rey. Sorry.
The Thrawns.
But like the Skywalkers in the Thrawn books. So, Holly, amazing point. I like where you're at with that.
So I'm pretty sure that droid in lore is made by the same people who make Droidicas. So
that would make sense because as soon as they stopped, that big, protection came over the top of them, which I thought was pretty cool. And again, whether we knew it and I didn't know what it was in Clone Wars if we get to see them, but my big thing was just we get these things announced to us if we don't know what they are. And I think going into Cal Kestis, where some of these normie fans don't play the game or have any idea who he is, you'd be able to explain who he was easy enough for everybody to sort of catch up on, So what's up, Chopper Base? Thanks for jumping in here. It is Wednesday evening. Yes, it is. So Ahsoka season 2. When do you guys think this is gonna drop?
Do we know when Mando and Grogu is going to come out of the theater? Because obviously, since it hasn't done as well, which is heartbreaking to me because it's incredible. I think that they will put Mando and Grogu on Disney Plus earlier than they thought and push back Ahsoka.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna optimistically say April of 2027. I think that's optimistic because I think they could cash in on like releasing an episode or releasing the first couple before Celebration, like they did with Obi-Wan like a few years ago. But I don't know. They've already pushed it back, and Derek, that's a great point. Like, depends what they want to do with. I'm sure the intention of having Mandalorian and Grogu is also to have a big release for Disney Plus as well. But if they need to do that early, and figure out what to do with it, then that changes other releases too. Even if we had a Tales on the deck or anything else to announce.
And there's a part of me that I was thinking about this the other day is that they're like, oh, they put so much money into marketing, but like, did they really push as hard as they could? Knowing, see, Nick's with me. I don't think that they did at all, knowing that a lot of people were waiting to watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't need to go see it in the theater. Especially once people found out that like it leaked that didn't die. It's like, oh, okay, well, no, like super main characters are dying and there's like not any super drama that I have to see. I'll just wait. I kind of feel like it's like the Solo experience where Solo was different, but like I hope that it goes on Disney Plus and it just blows up. And part of me is like, did they plan that? I don't think they did, but I'm sure they wanted the theater money.
I think insofar as like what you're saying, they planned it. Like, I think you're right that they didn't pump in as much effort as even they did for Solo. Like that's part of why Solo for them was considered a quote unquote bomb, because they did put a lot of money into putting it out, but it felt like they kind of knew, like you're saying, like they kind of knew it might be a Disney Plus thing, especially because it's, you know, tied to a Disney Plus series. And also that it's just kind of like a fun thing, reestablishing the IP in the theater and, you know, making AMC happy or whoever.
Right.
And
because if you think about like what their promotion was, it was like Burger King. Okay, how much does it cost to get into Burger King? Just ask them.
yeah.
Like, didn't really remember that Burger King really existed, except there's one like around the corner from my house. Like things like that, and also like, oh, but you know, look at what they did in the theater. I'm like, they put up posters and had some popcorn buckets that were almost identical to ones they had in the parks.
Yeah. And it's tough. It's tough to be in our position at the time, but like I can say from working with people all day and seeing people all day and wearing something Star Wars or something, there were people out there who would want to see it, who like 2 weeks leading up to the movie had no idea it existed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that usually never happens in Star Wars. I have to believe it was an intentional move. I think we had talked about that in all the leading weeks up to it.
Also, because, you know, I'm just sitting here with egg on my face thinking it was going to make $2 billion. Like, you know,
you and me both, brother.
Yeah, but like I'm wrong, and it's fine. So like that's why I've been thinking about this more, because I was like, okay, I was really wrong, but also like, let's be real. Like I was saying it to like, if it somehow came true, I was like, this is gonna make us go viral.
Put it all on black.
Exactly. So like, but I really did have hopes that it could do it, just because of how broad the audience really could be. But the more I've thought about it since it didn't do that, that's where I'm kind of like, was this the plan all along? Because they're selling a ton of merch still, an absolute ton of merch for this. And Disney Plus is their bread and butter. Like that's their bread and butter. Especially as they're integrating Hulu. Now, I don't know if you guys are big Disney Plus watchers. If you sign into Disney Plus, it will now sync your Hulu account with Disney Plus. There's Mike, but he has to wait. So you already had them connected, like the same shows were on both, but now you can sync your Hulu account, like all the shows you've watched, onto Disney Plus. So like I was watching Shoresy on Hulu. Now it continued my progress on Disney Plus. It's like Hulu's going away. We know Hulu is not going to be a thing much longer. I know Mike's like, what? It's not. Like, it's not. But
did Derek just kill off Hulu?
Mike
dropped Hulu. Yeah. So yeah, I've been like contemplating, like, did Disney really not care if it did that big in the theater, because they know that Disney Plus is what's going to drive people, and Disney Plus gives free ads to their parks, which are their biggest moneymaker. They don't have to pay for TV slots and movie slots for the parks if it's on Disney Plus.
And I think more so to your point, Derek, like when we're talking about people going to see the movie and then wanting to watch the show being a hook, I think an even bigger hook for them is, I'm going to wait to watch it, and then watching the movie on Disney Plus, which they're going to do a release, you know, they're going to beef up letting you know that it's on Disney Plus the same way as like any other big release, which will immediately integrate them to, hey, want to watch season 1 of The Mandalorian? Like that's as big of a hook as never having seen any of it and going to the theater and being like, maybe I'll get to that later. If you're a casual fan, right? If they're trying to get new audiences.
I'm still actually very much of the mind, and I'll just hop right in the conversation as if I was here the entire time. I am very much of the mind that they might still give us like a Tales or something in the fall, and maybe they do that attached to or around the same time as The Mandalorian getting put onto Disney Plus, so that they'll have more eyes on it and more eyes on the new show, or like maybe Tales would be the most likely option. Maybe the Visions spinoff thing that we talked about, the Ninth Jedi, or maybe something else. Could be another Rebuild the Galaxy season or something. But I think there is something coming this fall. It's not going to be big, but it's going to be something this fall.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they will. I think we'll get a Tales sometimes before next year, because again, and I was gonna. We're actually what we're talking about is when Ahsoka. When we think Ahsoka is going to come out, and I was going to say February, but I was going to agree with April, but then she or somebody else asked about the release of A New Hope, and I think that's in February. So
February 18th, I think.
Yeah, so they probably won't do that. I'm guessing they're not going to drop Ahsoka in February and then put that movie in the theater. So it's probably going to be later than February, which sort of stinks. But I definitely think that we're going to get something besides these Visions or the Ninth Jedi or something like that before the end of the year, because everybody was so psyched for Ahsoka season 2 to come out after Mandalorian and Grogu. Even though there's no actual tie-in to it, I think that a lot of people were expecting it to come out, and as we all were as well, sort of disappointed that at least it's coming out, but it's not coming out for probably another 6 months after where we thought it was going to come out. Because I figured, September, October this year, and now it's probably going to be March or April. But then we have Star Wars Celebration in April. So, is it going to be earlier? Is it going to be January? Are they going to throw it to us in the new year and we get to watch 8 weeks of it and then Star Wars jumps into theaters?
I could see us. Do we know like the release order too? Like how they're going to do that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I could see them putting the show out, and then like the last 2 episodes are right before, or like haven't happened, and then they have Celebration.
Yeah.
And then you have everybody there hyping up the last 2 episodes.
Because like the Celebration 22, Obi-Wan, I think, or the Kenobi series had, I want to say 2, maybe 4 episodes out. Does that sound right, Ron? When we went, the big deal finale had not happened yet.
No, yeah.
Right.
I think it was the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. So, and they had like Ewan McGregor there, like all that kind of thing. I could see them doing that. And it also gives them a good opportunity in February when they're putting A New Hope into the theater to run a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I actually think and Kenobi was one example, but they did it with Andor too. Andor last year in 2025, the second season, I just looked it up. Star Wars Celebration in Japan went from April 18th to 20th, and then Andor season 2 premiered on the 22nd, so 2 days later.
Yeah.
So I think they'll do something similar to that, where April 20th is a lot later than April 1st, which is when next year's Star Wars Celebration is. So maybe it's earlier because Ahsoka has to be earlier because Starfighter exists. So maybe it's something like Ahsoka's premiere is that Tuesday after April 1st, and then we run until mid-May or early May, and then we get Starfighter right after. Could be something like that.
Could we get a Christmas Ahsoka?
No.
This year?
Ron just ruined Christmas. No. Hard no. That was a no. Absolutely not. We are not getting Santa Claus, Ron.
He got rid of the beard, and Santa Ron is gone forever.
Jeez Louise, that was a hard no.
Well, just because they pushed it to 2027. I would love to see it. Shit, I'd like to watch it tomorrow, all 8 episodes.
Not going to happen. Sorry. Well, not sorry.
Yeah. I think if they delayed it to Christmas, they would have said that instead of saying early 2027, because it would give you something to look forward to. However, Christmas this year is pretty crazy, at least in terms of the movie theater. Actually, no, in shows as well, actually, because Doomsday and Dune 3, all the movies, I think on Christmas Day is when the first season of the new Harry Potter series comes out. But I could be wrong. Yeah,
I do love Harry Potter. But
let's remake Harry Potter. Less than 15 years after it just ended.
Well,
not like this. Like, why not look at like Star Wars or Marvel and like expand the universe instead of just redoing it?
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Well, I mean, they tried to expand Harry Potter, didn't really do so well.
True.
So.
Fantastic Beasts. Well, then make better movies. I don't know what to
tell you. There was a good question. I think Holly asked. Let me see. Oh no, April said, "How do you guys? Who do you guys think made the decision to make Mando and Grogu a movie?" She thinks Bob Iger. I disagree. I think it was probably Kathleen Kennedy, with Iger going out, knowing he's leaving, Kathleen knowing she's out. Let Filoni Favreau have a splash.
Yeah,
because at this point, like, she's gone, so she's not going to get the heat if it's bad. So I think it was probably her last decision.
I also think that in The Mandalorian, Grogu's not doing as great as we hoped it would be, but still, it's sort of a stepping stone for us to get Star Wars back in theaters, because it's going to be back for a while, at least from what we're hearing lately. I actually saw something either this morning or yesterday. It must have been this morning. Some scooper saying that from here on out, Disney's plan is 2 shows a year and 1 movie a year, which sounds perfect to me.
Shit.
Well, probably one live action, one animated. But the movies are not going anywhere. The Mandalorian and Grogu was just a guaranteed victory lap for them, because Grogu and Din Djarin are fan favorite characters. They're going to sell the merchandise. They're going to sell whatever. Grogu's going to sell like hotcakes. Probably literally. There's probably a Grogu hotcake somewhere. But it's more of a stepping stone to Ryan Gosling coming. Like, if they started what they wanted to do 3 years ago, which is the Rey movie, then we'd be in a completely different conversation right now. But because it's the Mandalorian and Grogu, it's a safe bet, because it's not going to create controversy online when it's Din and Grogu, because fans love Din and Grogu. If you started with the Rey movie, that's controversy out the wazoo. Or even if you started with a post-sequel movie, which is Starfighter, that would still cause controversy. So to have a safe bet that people most likely won't complain about, or, we don't know about that. But the Mandalorian and Grogu is the safest bet.
Yeah. Well, and Chopper Base said, I think Mando and Grogu suffered a bit because people thought they had to be caught up. And I know we talked about it that you didn't, but I had more people say, oh, I haven't watched all of the series, so I don't want to go see the movie. And I'm like, oh, you don't need to. And they're like, oh, but
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really think that actually played in way more. And again, that's where, like, now thinking back, I'm like, was this a whole plan that, like, people will get on Disney Plus, watch the movie, rewatch all of Mando, or if they didn't finish Mando, watch it, then watch the movie? I think it's a thing.
The Mandalorian shot up to in the top 10 on Disney Plus, like, immediately. So people were going back to watch it again or refresh before the movie. It was the whole month of May, the Mandalorian show was in the top 10 on Disney Plus. So, and it hasn't had a new season in 3 years. So it did its job.
I think you're right. I think Derek's right on the money with the splash for Dave and John. Because, like, worst case scenario, you can also kick, let's say people hated it, which I don't think anybody hated it. There wasn't anything really controversial about it. People are just, saying it.
People, I'm sure, hated it.
Yeah. But, like, okay, so it's kind of a win-win for the new leadership. You can kick Kathleen Kennedy on the way out, like you always do if you want, but it doesn't matter, right? Even though she helped them put it together, right? Or they can take all the glory if people thought it was a masterpiece, right? Like, it's a win-win. And obviously, like, Jon Favreau says he wrote a season 4. I wonder if his, like, quotes about Dave's got something lined up, so we didn't necessarily want to use it, like, it had anything to do with, like, taking pieces of it and we're saying, you know what, we're not going to do a season 4. I could see box office money being more immediate money than putting out a season on Disney Plus. So maybe they were like, well, you know what? Why don't we take this fun story out of it, put it out there in IMAX, good faith with the theaters, because we have a plan in place anyway, and get a little bit of an immediate kickback out of it. It's not going to be, saga film money, but we'll get something out of it and then move it to Disney Plus where it'll blow up and then help also our other series that are coming out. Or, like you said, Mike, it gets them on schedule. It gets it kind of like, gets the metabolism moving again.
It's not easy to. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say it's not easy to take 7 years off and then come back like nothing ever happened,
Right.
especially with a movie that's based off of a show that has 3 seasons.
Right, and it's up to what 315 million that they've made globally, and it
More than
took
that now,
it was 165 to produce it. I mean, that's not counting a lot of factors. I know people are like 600 million. I'm like,
they also got a $22 million tax break on it, so 144.
Yeah, it's gonna break even, which is good. I mean, it's not a flop, so to speak. I think it will pass Solo, and Solo cost over double to make. So it's comparing apples and oranges, but it could be a lot worse. Have you seen the Master of the Universe? Or what is it called?
oh
Master
my
of the
gosh,
He-Man.
horrible!
It's getting destroyed. Now, I haven't seen it yet. I don't even know if it's good or not, but from what I've heard, the people who saw it, they liked it. I'm not a He-Man fan. I never seen He-Man in the first place.
But
yeah,
it's like what 30 years after your time or before your time.
But having said that, it's like it's gonna lose a lot of money.
And
I
again,
think,
we've talked. Oh, go ahead.
You and I had talked about, Mike, and I forget what the number was, but the amount of money they get just Disney Plus just gets in subscriptions per month.
Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
know, it's astronomical. So it's like
I think it was 2 billion.
A month for subscription.
And that's not I don't know if they're reporting all of the ads that they're getting now too, because they are making so much money in ads.
That's true. That's just subscriptions. That's just subscriptions. Is the 2 billion.
Right. So like I can see Disney being like, hey, this movie did not do well in theaters, but people are gonna love it here. Get your ads on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get a ton of views. And again, we've talked about this many times, the merchandise. How much money I would like cut off a toe to find out how much money they made in merchandise off Mando and Grogu.
Well, we don't know about the movie, obviously, and maybe we never will. But we did learn that in 2021 and in 2022, they made $1 billion off of Grogu merchandise alone.
Yeah,
which is
and that's not even counterfeit stuff.
And that's not even in those 2 years. They didn't have a Mandalorian season. Those were 2 years off.
Crazy. So that's the more I think about it, I'm like, it didn't get 2 billion at the box office like we predicted, like Ron and I thought.
Not yet,
but we still have time. But
3 billion yen.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
There you go. Hey, yeah, I didn't say dollars, doll hair. But could it have made 2 billion total?
Oh, with everything involved?
Probably more.
Yeah.
There you go. So I say we still win.
As Star Wars fans, we definitely won.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there I guess I don't know what the landscape is. Are movie budgets like shrinking in general? Like not just Mando and Grogu, but
yes and no. I mean, you look at like an Avatar movie, that budget is still insane. I just saw today actually that Jurassic World Dominion, the one that came out in 2022, just broke the Force Awakens record for the biggest budget. And it was like 600 million or something crazy. So yes, you're seeing movies that are made on a cheaper budget. And again, it's still shocking that nobody talks about this enough, that The Mandalorian only cost 144 million after tax, 144 million to make. The last Star Wars movie cost like 400 million. Like it's crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, shit, did Andor season 2 cost more than that?
Way
Wasn't
more.
That like 25 million episode? Yeah.
Yeah, it was 230 something million for just the season 2.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of it, I know for Ahsoka, they did all the filming or a lot of the filming over in the UK with a lot of that stuff, and it's a lot cheaper to film over there and get actors and actresses and stuff over there besides your main players, but to have extras and things like that, it's a lot cheaper than it is over here.
And they get the tax break in the UK. If you film a movie or a show, it's like 25% back. It's crazy.
Wow. That would be incentive enough. So I want to know, because on the thumbnail I was talking about, and we already talked about Jedi 3 and we're talking about Ahsoka now, but with Baylan, with him in Peridia, are we sure that he's looking for the Mortis gods, or do we think maybe the world between worlds, or is it something completely new? And that, because I wonder, because a lot of the trailers and different things that they did with Mandalorian and Grogu sort of pushed us in different directions, as they do with, oh, is Din gonna die? Look at all these things. We're trying to talk to it and try to talk to everybody and show them and word plays and different scene cuts. So it sounds like, Mandalorian's gonna die and different things like that. So as much as we're hoping it's Abeloth or something to do with the gods, the Mortis gods, do we think that it could be possibly something different, or is every road pointing towards Abeloth and the Mortis gods?
I mean, I think all roads are pointing to Abeloth at this point, but yeah, there could be a big old switcheroo. All we know is that the Mortis gods are dead, because that's pretty much how it goes in the Clone Wars.
Because you're here.
Yeah. I was born and the Mortis gods were doomed.
Yep.
Somehow the father returned.
Yeah. But that's supposed to be like Anakin's the father. He's supposed to be the father. But all those Mortis gods are dead. So there's statues of them on Peridea, but we don't know why. And there's somebody calling out to Baylan. You could hear this like angel singing voice in the season, and we don't know what that is. And we don't know who's calling out to him. We don't know why Baylan thinks that this is some insane power if he hasn't gotten there yet. Like, we don't know what he knows. It could be a crazy switch, but I still got my money on Abeloth.
Yeah, me too. But I also, I went back. I guess it's been a couple months now, but I went back and watched that whole, section in Clone Wars, and yeah, you're right. I mean, there's nothing there. There's nothing solid there that points us or connects us besides who they are and what their story was, except for Baylan standing on the finger of the father and looking off into the distance to what's the name of that? Anyways, so those are the things I wonder. Are we don't have any structure yet in anything that we know of. Even the robots, I think, in some of the leaks, the ones that were flying around and different things like that, are those related to Abeloth, or is that something else? And then there's a lot of stuff on the internet right now that's going around with some of the leaks with I can't think of the name of the little dudes that are in the little shells and stuff like that, and they're talking about how their little huts and their little vehicles are all tore up. Some of them are being, probably destroyed. So what else is going on in Peridea? First of all, that's gonna, I guess maybe because they're with Ahsoka and Sabine and Hu Yang, maybe they're going after some of these, mercenaries that are going after them. But it's like, who's going to beat up on these little things that are just trying to survive?
Yeah. Well, I guess getting back to it, like you said, why is Peridea this way? In season 1, it was described as a wasteland, but at one point was supposed to be a Night Sister kingdom. So the reason I think that Baylan's looking for someone and not something is because someone destroyed this entire planet, and whoever that is probably been imprisoned. And going back to your giant like mech droid looking things from the leaks, I think those could just be like guards guarding the prison and trying to keep people out, because the Mortis gods are dead, so they're not keeping people away. But
yeah, I think
with that attitude, they're not.
I think you're right. I think that's what it is, and I hope that's what it is. But I'm wondering, just are they going to try to fool us some other way and throw some other cog in here to switch things up and shoot us in the wrong direction, or what's going on with again the Noti, or I guess is that how you say it? Noti. So those are the things that I wonder if we're going to get some things changed up, and it stinks now that we have to push this back, because these are some of these questions that we want to know and see what's going on with it.
Yeah, I got a really funny chat yesterday in my live stream that someone said, because it has been a long time since season 1, someone said, you're really going to wait if you wait 4 years in between a first season and a second season, then you got to get your brain checked. And I was like, Are we serious? We're talking about Star Wars, the world where we have to wait 2 years, 3 years in between movies, 16 years in between trilogies, 10 years in between trilogies. 4 years is nothing, especially when we've gotten so much content in between those 4 years.
Yeah, I wish they'd wait 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, and that's it. We're not waiting that long in between. Maybe for the Mandalorian and Grogu, or maybe for Ahsoka or something like that. But we've gotten so much more. And I think it was me and maybe Papa Boz were talking about that on your stream, or we chimed in there on the chat, because it was 16 years. It was 3 years for the first originals. So we waited a long time, and we didn't get anything in between. And what's great now with social media and everything else that's going on, we're getting, now that, again, as much as people hate Star Wars Disney, we've gotten so many good projects from Star Wars since Disney took over, and we're still continuing to get things. And maybe we got to wait 3 or 4, 5 years for another season or a movie or something, but we're getting all this other awesome stuff in between. And I think that's what helps the hunger for it sort of subside a little bit, where it's like, oh, now we got to wait 3 years we're not going to get nothing. And that's not the case anymore. We're always going to get something.
I think everybody knows I love Disney Star Wars, and I will fight anyone that says I'm wrong. Same. And I'll win because you're nerds. So
I think what Ron was trying to say there was that person who said that needs to go get his brain checked.
Oh.
Because clearly, if your attention span is that little, you might have something wrong.
Well, and especially if you're a Star Wars fan, all of this stuff in between that we've gotten, why are you worrying about it?
The wait between Maul Shadowlord Season 1 and The Mandalorian and Grogu, those 3 weeks were like a lifetime. Oh my God.
Well, and that's the good thing, that we get this stuff continuing to come out, which I think is awesome. And like you said, Derek, I mean, Disney, I think Disney's crushing it,
Can I pull it back to Baylan for a second?
Yeah, please.
So I think Abeloth would be the coolest, like, considering Ahsoka is kind of made for all of us here tonight, right? Like, I think that's kind of in the formula that Ahsoka is going to, season 1 even did a little bit, but season 2 is going to be kind of for all of us. No consideration for a broader audience, which is awesome. And Abeloth would be the place to do that, like that kind of an audience. I actually am with Ron a little bit, that I'm leaning towards the Mortis thing just being sort of like a little, hey, gotcha sort of thing. But relating to, like, Mortis is a weird thing that doesn't really get resolved, other than all the Mortis gods are dead and Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka don't remember it. Like, that's it. Super weird arc that is kind of left to be weird. Total, like, George and Dave style, we leave it alone. But whatever Baylan's looking for, like, that's great imagery with the father to be like, this is the type of thing that he thinks he's after, right? Even though that's all gone. This is the type of thing he's after. Abeloth could be that, could be something totally different. Could be nothing. He could be driving himself nuts, which would drive the ultimate wedge between him and Shin, who already seemingly might have a wedge. Furthermore, Shin's teaming up with these mercenaries. Where did they come from? I imagine Peridia is not the only planet in that galaxy. So, like, what, are we going to be learning any more about that? Will that play into, I don't know, like, how they get out of there, or if they ever get out of there? But I could see it being some new Star Wars territory that's really cool. And Mortis is kind of our clue at, like, how significant that is, if that makes sense.
Well, I will take that and I will up it a little bit, because I think the introduction to Abeloth, or whatever Baylan's looking for, is, as you were saying, sort of so important that it's like the future. That's what we're going towards. And this was I pulled up the leak from earlier this morning. according to Jeff Snyder, and this is coming from Jeff Snyder, who's one of the probably most reliable insiders we have at this point in time, Lucasfilm's new goal is to release 2 series and 1 film annually. Now, it doesn't say 1 live action, 1 animated, but I assume that's what they meant. And from now on, this is the bigger part, I think, there will be no more standalone films, and all films will be connected to the next saga. So what is the next saga? If everything is connected to it, well, then you got to assume like Devonai Zara being set up in Maul Shadowlord is for the next saga. You got to assume that Baylan Skoll and Abeloth and whatever that threat is set up for the next saga in the post-sequel world. And of course, all the events of Starfighter and the Rey movie and beyond that. That is, first of all, really cool. Everything being connected. We knew that was going to happen with Dave in charge now. But getting 2 series a year in 1 film is pretty great. And then this one, I don't really... It says most future series, both live action and animation, will be set in the New Republic era and be oriented towards an Andor or the Mandalorian type of show. Now, I mean, we got Maul Shadowlord still, so I assume we're going to keep continuing that. But I'd like a, animated show in the Mandoverse, Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show. But going back to it, I think Ahsoka Season 2 in particular, Abeloth and the setup of that is all just for what's next, the next saga, so to speak.
No, I agree with you. I think that it's going to be a bigger picture, and that's what this is going to all set up, whether it's going to be Dave's movies or if we have somebody else, popping in there for something. So,
yeah.
I have to put this up now that Derek sent that
Should we wait, hold on. Should we make this one of our shirts and sell it? Would you guys buy it?
I don't know if we could sell that.
I'll sell it. It's fine. All right. I think they'd have a hard time.
That's awesome.
Because there's ways to skate around it. So if anybody would want that shirt, I will gladly make it for them.
There you go.
There you go. Absolutely. So since we're on Baylan and Shin, do you guys think that Shin will come to the Jedi side, so to speak, or is she going to go on her own path, or is she going to become a Sith, or what do you guys think or is she going to become Abeloth? What's your guys' thoughts on Shin?
That last one, absolutely. I think she's been set up. She's been long groomed for it with the white hair and the non-blinking eyes. She's going to be Abeloth, I think.
No, I do have to say this. I did go through and watch, and she does blink. Not a lot, but she does. Because people were like all over there. Oh, she doesn't. I'm like, so I watched every time I was like watching, and she'll blink once in a while. But yes, for the most part, she is wide-eyed and blonde. So, Nick, what do you think?
I don't know. I think we still have a lot to learn about both of them. I could see I would love a Tales of them. One half of the Tales being them and the other being related to some other project. But I don't know, because I'm not sold on like what the big Peridia problem is yet. I don't want to say Abeloth, although I think that'd be the coolest thing. I do like the tension that I mentioned earlier that like Baylan essentially like said, see ya. Go revel in your victory, and then they left her, so she's pissed, and now she's like presumably gonna Knights of Ren these bandits, and be this like ancillary problem, and maybe have enough anger for Baylan that there's a situation that pops off and we learn more about them. I don't know. It'd be cooler if in this scheme, let's say it is Abeloth, in the scheme of all that, she gets to it before he does and suffers the rat, and becomes something unexpected. But
if she gets to it before he does, that's exactly what Mike's saying. I think is she's gonna turn into Abeloth if she gets there before him.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like with Shin they could have put her on Thrawn's ship and had her leave, but they didn't. Like she could have hopped on one of those troop carriers and went off with them and gotten home with Thrawn. But she stays there for a reason. We know what Baylan's doing. He's looking for something. We know what Shin and Ahsoka, Sabine and Ahsoka are doing, but Shin is the big question mark, and I think she's stranded there and stayed there because she's got a bigger purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she stayed because she still had faith in Baylan, and
she got ditched.
Yeah, but until she got ditched, I think, I don't think she would have jumped. I think it was too late for her to go jump on and say, "Hey, listen, Baylan dumped me. I want to go back with you guys." I think she was still under his watchful eye, or she still had faith in him that maybe he would change, and she stayed. And then all of a sudden, it was like, "What the hell, dude? You're just leaving me here."
Well, she had plenty of time to go with Thrawn. She just chose not to.
Yeah. And I think they were under the impression that they were going to, wait for him also.
Yeah.
Like they were going to. And Thrawn kind of indicates immediately that, like, we're not, we don't mind them,
Our main objective is to get the flock out of here.
Yeah. Hey, you didn't use one there.
No, I didn't. I almost did, but I thought, no, I won't use it yet. So,
not yet.
You got anything else on Ahsoka season 2, Mike?
Well, Ezra Bridger was
Starfighter.
Iman Esfandi, I suppose, was at some con, I forget what it was called, but some con over the weekend, and he was talking about how Ezra's going to be in a lot more of this second season. And hang on, let me see if I can find. Yeah, so here's what he sort of said. He'll be in the whole season. Now, that doesn't mean he'll be in every episode, but it means, he's not going to just be in 3 episodes in the back half of the season like he was in season 1. So he'll be in the whole season, which is cool. He's working with a lot of new people on set, which is not a surprise. He did say more fight scenes, which if you cast your mind back to season 1, there's a lot of fight scenes in season 1. Ezra has to grow, is what he said. Now, I mean, we last saw Ezra, he was like 17, jets off with the Purgle, comes back 11 years later. He's going to have to grow, obviously, but in what way, I suppose? Emotional and tender moments in season 2, that could be like romance type stuff, or it could just be emotional stuff like Hera Syndulla dying, of course. And he also didn't know that Ahsoka season 2 was delayed until we did, which is not that shocking. That usually happens a lot where, he's not a producer on the show. He's not he's just an actor, so he wouldn't know that either. But yeah, so a little bit of an update from Ezra Bridger himself, Iman Esfandi. But more fight scenes sounds good to me.
The romantic thing, I hope that doesn't happen. I think emotionally, whether now he's back, Sabine got left behind. I think that they might maybe address that a little bit once we get into season 2, because we leave them separated like that, and she was going to come, but she didn't make it. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Were you going to say something, Nick?
He's also gonna meet Kanan and Hera's son for the first time. You didn't know he exists.
True. He doesn't even know he exists.
Emotional thing.
Yeah.
And then realize oh shit, Jason's got
abilities.
Got some stuff going on.
True. Yeah. You know who we also will probably meet now because of the Mandalorian Grogu movie is Rada the Hutt. And if we know from Rebels, he takes the name Jabba the Hutt as an alias for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. If he's like, I'm your dad, that'd be awesome.
He's been on social media just a ton, which is cool. Obviously, he's trying to promote himself, but he's also in the new Spider-Man movie as well. So that's a good thing for him. But I also think that's a good thing for Star Wars as well, because some people that are going to see him in that movie are going to switch over and be like, oh, I'm going to catch this guy in the first season of Ahsoka, and now he's coming out in the second season of Ahsoka, and he's going to have a bigger role in there, which I think will be helpful for some of the audience to come over and check him out and see what a cool thing is, and then go back and watch Rebels, to get more of his character, which is really cool. But I can't say it enough. What a great, whoever cast him, did a great job. I mean,
Yeah,
that's Ezra right there.
Yeah, all the Ahsoka season 1 though. I mean, Sabine is perfect. Even like, I guess more ancillary characters are really spot on. But yeah, Ezra's perfect. The other thing was you mentioned how he's going to be in Spider-Man. It is funny how Ryan Gosling was just in a big blockbuster movie in like April or whenever that was, March, with Project Hail Mary. You got Aaron Pierre, who's going to be in Starfighter as well. He's going to be in the Lanterns show later this year. I think Amy Adams is promoting a new movie right now. Matt Smith is in House of the Dragon season 3 starting this weekend. Like all these Starfighter cast members are having a crazy 2026 right before the movie comes out in 2027, which is huge for the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's a great segue into Starfighter.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
But and I
wait,
think
wait. Last thing on Ahsoka season 2.
Nope, you're good.
Chopper Base brought it up in the chat, which was, do you think Ezra will train Jason? Yeah, I think that Harrison Dule is going to die, but I think that because, well, for many multitude of reasons, but because it'll be almost like Qui-Gon dying and telling Obi-Wan to train the child. Like Hera will die and tell Ezra to train her son, because like Nick said, they've never met before. But also Jason's either going to Luke's Jedi Temple or hanging out with Uncle Ezra. And I think Uncle Ezra's the more likely option there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I also think that what's going to happen is once we establish these two characters, they're going to come into Dave's movie as well. So we're going to have a couple more Jedi to help as we continue to build the Jedi sort of back up again a little bit, or to have more Jedi that go up against Thrawn. In the end, once everybody gets back to the regular universe, which I think most of them probably will at some point, but that'll be interesting too, to see what happens and how they get back. I agree with you, Mike. I don't think that Ahsoka's coming back, but I think Sabine will have to, and we'll see what happens to Baylan and Shin as well. But I think one, if not both of them, could come back to the universe as well. And then, if it is one of them that comes back, do they hook back up with Thrawn and he's got somebody else on his side as well? Mm-hmm. So there's lots of stuff that could happen.
And April brought it up in the chat too. Like the Ghost is in the Rise of Skywalker at the Battle of Exegol, so somebody's piloting that. Mm-hmm. And it could be Jason, because that's still like 25 years after this.
Right.
We can go to Starfighter now, but when I went like, wait, I felt like Obi-Wan Kenobi in telling Luke to stop leaving Dagobah in Empire Strikes Back.
Well, I'll keep us waiting by saying, I do think we all liked the little tidbits from Baylan about who he is, what he thinks, all that kind of stuff. One of the interesting ones is about Bakken Jedi, like people who are non-traditionally brought up by a Jedi who survived or in some unconventional way. I think the same way that the logic is pretty airtight about how we have so many Order 66 survivors, that, Order 66 could have been 99% effective. You still got 100 of them, like probably more. Right. So I think the same logic is that just because Luke makes a Jedi temple doesn't mean he's the only person who's been working on it. Yeah. Right. Same reason that Baylan exists, same reason Ahsoka exists. So all these people. And I think it would be a much more interesting story in the future that maybe Starfighter leads to, that part of creating Luke's Jedi temple or Rey's Jedi temple in the future is recognizing, like, I might have to go find some people who have been working on this kind of thing. Maybe they've gone their own way. Maybe, you have all these different sort of vibes of Jedi like they were back in the 20,000 years ago days of when the Jedi started, and they were all kind of doing their own different thing. And I think that is something that Ezra and Jason could do. Like, they don't know necessarily Luke, right? Like maybe they meet him as a result of knowing the Resistance and Leia or whatever, but they might go do their own thing.
Yeah.
Other people might go do their own thing. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I know you guys talked about Cal Kestis earlier, but he's the same way. Like where we left him in Survivor, he's got this girl that he's got to train. Like that could turn into something, or maybe it doesn't, but eventually it could. Like, will he be a part of Luke's temple? Will he be with Ezra? He's more like Ezra. Yeah, absolutely.
The people who follow whatever the path is, if we end up going into that, could be like totally in the clear and have been working on their own thing in peace and come out of it going like, so what happened? Or all these different possibilities.
Well, Quinlan Voss, when you mentioned the path, but also Asajj Ventress, we just saw last year in Tales of the Underworld, go off with her own apprentice too. So there's so many people running around with apprentices and all this stuff. So a lot of question marks, not a lot of answers.
So it doesn't all have to lead to like, I think they can make a very interesting story out of all these things. They've already made a point in Ahsoka season 1 to kind of give it a name,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
True.
Well, and to clarify what Mike said, in official canon does not specify who is piloting the Ghost in the cameo for Rise of Skywalker. So
it's like
Zeb.
Which that would be cool if they did. I mean, that would.
It was funny when me and Sam were watching all the stuff through, and we're finally caught up. We're watching the sequels now, which is great. But when we were watching through all the stuff, she'd seen the trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu, and Zeb's in that trailer. So anytime we were watching Rebels or anything that Zeb was in, she'd go, "It's okay because Zeb lives." Like anytime anything got bad, she was like, "It's okay because Zeb lives." So Zeb lived, so he could be piloting the Ghost.
Well, it's nice because you just kill people off, so at least Zeb lives. So
Zeb
that's good.
Exactly.
So for Starfighter, me and Goth's character, working with Matt Smith, I guess, so he's going to be a warlord. But do you think that she'll remain with him throughout this, or is she going to have something different that she's going to be doing? Do you think that Mia's getting set up or to do something bigger in the Star Wars universe as we continue to go on, or is this just going to be a one and done? I mean, I think we're going to get Matt Smith back for sure. I think he's a little bit bigger, at least when they signed him, than Mia was. But the way that and she's done a lot of independent and B films and stuff like that. But I really haven't seen anything from her. But everybody I've read everything I've read about her, she's a fantastic actress. But are we going to be one and done with her, or is she going to establish into a bigger character than we think, going on into Star Wars?
In the words of Ron, no. No, for either side. I don't know. I don't think that she's going to develop into a much bigger character. Now, could she be in multiple movies? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think she's going to get mic'd in the first one. But I don't know. I don't foresee her being like this super mega leading character.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think she's more so of like a Krennic in Rogue One, where she's a main bad guy. He's the main bad guy of Rogue One, but there's way bigger fish to fry, like Tarkin, or even bigger, like Palpatine and Vader. She is a big mystery, though, because she wields the Force and a lightsaber 5 years after the sequel trilogy, and that's rare, very rare. And where'd she come from? Who was her master? How'd she learn this? Where'd she get a lightsaber? Like, those are the questions I want to know. But maybe I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I'm with you there. I think what she is more important than who she is in this movie. I'm also recently leaning more towards the possibility of Starfighter, despite the proposed plan of what insiders say Disney's looking at, or Lucasfilm is looking at doing. Starfighter is already in the works, so I could see Starfighter also kind of having a one-off vibe similar to Mando and Grogu, but with a little more jumping off power than Mando and Grogu, because the movie we just saw is very much intertwined with things still coming out. As we know, Starfighter is kind of fertile ground.
Yeah.
In which case, like, if it's sort of a one-off, then I think Mia Goth and Matt Smith will be awesome, but less important specifically as to their characters, but what they represent and the possibilities that creates down the road is probably more important than whoever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's so interesting that the villain of this movie, from what we know, again, these are just leaks, but it's a warlord. It's like we're going back to the basics almost, where we're seeing the same thing happen when the Empire falls, the First Order falls. It's just replaced by warlords for a little bit at least.
There's a power vacuum, and
Yeah,
the Republic doesn't exist. The First Order doesn't exist. That's probably one of the more important things we'll learn from this movie is, like, what's the score? Are we just in, Wild West now, all over the galaxy?
Yeah. Well, Coruscant at least did not get blown up, but all the other planets did. So
Yeah, Alderaan did.
That's also true. Yeah, we do know that.
I'm making that tomorrow.
A lot of core worlds, though. I mean, Alderaan is right there in the core, and so was all the Hosnian Prime system too.
Should you put a little Jedi Chat logo on the Death Star?
I should. I absolutely should. Yeah. And Max Rebo standing on Alderaan.
And Cal Kestis.
No, he's on the Death Star.
I mean, nothing is confirmed.
Okay.
It's all just leaks for now. It's like anything we've gotten for Ahsoka, I suppose. Well, a lot more has been confirmed for Ahsoka, I guess. Is it confirmed that she's wielding a lightsaber? No. Is it confirmed that there's going to be lightsabers in this movie? Yes. Sean Levy has told us that, and he's the director, so we believe him. But we don't know for 100% fact that she is a lightsaber wielder who can, wield the Force too. But that's what the leaks tell us, and we have no reason to disagree.
Well, and I think it's cool too, the leak about Amy Adams, passing the lightsaber off. So there's definitely going to be that, but in that, going into that, do you guys think that we'll see any or hear anything about Skywalkers, or is this going to be a standalone movie? And or and that's my thing too. This could possibly be a trilogy as well, with these new characters coming in and this young kid, whether he gets trained by Ryan Gosling or he continues to go on and do something else. But you have a brand new good guys, so to speak, and brand new bad guys that we could use all of these characters for several movies if we were to do that. And as much as we want, the Mandalorian and Grogu or whatever Dave's Mando trilogy is going to be, but is this something that could be built on a trilogy? Is this a one-off? Is this a no Skywalkers, or are we going to somehow tie into the Skywalkers again? Or could this possibly be a trilogy as well, or at least see these characters somewhere, and where would we see them again?
I think it's going to be the Rogue One to Andor, and that's going to be our bridge. So it's going to be Starfighter and then a kick-ass series after that exceeds, basically is a great series that happens to be in Star Wars, if that makes sense, like Andor, about something that helps us bridge this time for whenever they're ready to put out the new quote unquote saga films.
Because if this movie is anywhere near as good as Rogue One.
Right.
That'd be nice.
I don't mean it like, I'm not saying it has to be as good, but I think it's going to be a similar vibe of like, the movie's going to be presumably something we all really, really love. And maybe, Mike, you tell me if I'm wrong, maybe Ryan Gosling's dead so that they don't have to pay him for him again. and then we get like an unexpected series out of it that kind of bridges this gap, because I don't think they would do another set of saga films or another trilogy taking place 5 years after the last one.
Yeah.
And I also, just to throw it out there, guys, I don't think a Rey movie ever existed. I think that was their, oh shit, we have to say something when they
Yeah.
hunt for Ben Solo. And because obviously a next trilogy would involve her and all those characters. So I don't think a Rey Jedi Temple movie ever existed. They were just like, well, we were going to announce the hunt for Ben Solo next month at D23. What do we do?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is like a bridge to whatever their saga plan is.
I agree. I think that it's going to be a standalone film, but it's going to be way more involved, like Rogue One was, with the greater story, and maybe even set it up with some sort of teaser or cliffhanger. I don't know if Ryan Gosling will make it out of this one. I'm holding that out until at least I see a teaser trailer. But in terms of this kid, we assume is going to be dropped off at Rey's Jedi Temple or something along those lines, and it will set that up. And again, with the Rey movie thing, I agree with you. I think that was sort of we need to announce something type deal. But I think it's been reworked. Like it still exists, but it's been reworked into like the first episode of the Kimberg trilogy. That's just where I'm at on it. But yeah, I think Starfighter is going to be a standalone film for all intents and purposes. I think it could be Sean Levy's one and only film. I don't know. And that can work just like Rogue One worked, and just like you said, Andor 2 and all that. So, and Solo, I guess, as well. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think that would be cool. I think that this could be also a push for the next set of actors and actresses to go into this, because we can still do the Mandoverse with this, this timeline back here in the Mandoverse, and then continue with Mia and Flynn Gray, in something different for that universe as well, because I think we're going to have those two things going off at the same time, because Dave's going to be in the Mandoverse, and we're still, I think something else will come to fruition with the Star Wars Starfighter. I think that you're exactly right, you guys, where it's setting up something, whether it's going to bridge something, but bring something, just a 1-2 punch, and then it's going to be like, oh, now we can build off of this, which will be pretty awesome.
Yeah. And Papa Boss said, when do you think we'll get the first trailer? The latest was that, and coming from another very reliable source, that we are going to get the first teaser trailer and Ahsoka Season 2 trailer at D23 on August 14th to 16th. Whether those trailers will be released publicly or just to the people in attendance is still up in the air, but it's pretty much a definite that we will get both Ahsoka Season 2 and Starfighter teaser trailers in August. So,
do we have a movie release date for it?
Yeah, May 28th, I think.
Okay.
It's Memorial Day weekend again. So
I think we'll be able to tell just how standalone it's intended to be by how much buzz we get about it and how early.
Yeah.
Like if we're getting a teaser in August for a May movie, that's like, what do you guys think? 6 months ahead of Mando and Grogu?
Yeah.
So
well, I'm sure the marketing will be a lot stronger because people don't know those characters, and we knew who Din and Grogu were.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to make it stronger because they were just going to put it on Disney Plus anyway.
Yeah. Well, also the marketing, like Nick just said, is going to be very important. If they're marketing it like a new saga begins, like then we're going to be like, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
If they market it like they did with Rogue One, like they just kind of spammed is the wrong word, but like Rogue One was the first really original trilogy feeling thing since the original trilogy, and they worked that for like a year. Like as soon as The Force Awakens was out of the theater, they were like, "Here's another thing," and this feels like Star Wars and all this kind of thing. I wonder how you do that for another story that people might not be fresh on, or be like, well, is it episode 10 or is it not? Like it'd be interesting to see how they're going to work those teasers in.
I got a good question for you guys that just popped into my head. If Ryan Gosling is a Starfighter pilot, from what we are led to believe, a washed up one or an old hero, whatever, because when we talk about like what the government looks like in the post sequels is cool. what I liked about the Acolyte in particular, and the sequel trilogy too, was the new ship designs and the new droids. BB-8 is not talked about enough. He's a great droid. There's a rolling ball around, like he's the updated astromech sort of. So I guess my question to you would be, if he's a Starfighter pilot, he must have had a droid. Do you think he's going to have a new sort of generation of droid, or maybe a BB unit? I don't know, rolling around with him?
I think it's a great question. I think absolutely, because merchandise.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
when you talk about Starfighter and you talk about all these great new actors, great, and they'll sell action figures, but Star Wars is selling Grogu toys and droid toys, like the things that are easier to make that aren't human. And
Right.
yeah, if he has
and if you look at like the biggest selling toys for all of Star Wars, it is a lot of the droids. It's Darth Maul, it's lightsabers, Vader. So it's things that like aren't the typical human. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, lightsabers is a great point too, because there's going to be a bunch of new hilts in this movie.
Yes.
And those will sell like hotcakes. Oh, that's my second time I've used hotcakes today. I haven't said hotcakes in my entire life.
Are you hungry?
Crazy. Maybe.
Okay, go for some hot
waffle. That's good. I was going to say something and I totally forgot because you guys were talking about something. I had a good little point. But
you're talking about something dumb.
No,
was it Harry Potter related?
No, it was not Harry Potter related. It was Star Wars related.
Star Wars ripoff movie.
So everything that we've talked about tonight, from Jedi 3, which I think is going to be very impactful, to Ahsoka Season 2 and Starfighter, what do you think is going to have the biggest impact in Star Wars for the next 5 years? Or possibly Mandalorian and Grogu with the Mandoverse. What's going to have the biggest impact in Star Wars out of all these things coming up? And why do you think that?
I think to Star Wars fans, hardcore Star Wars fans like us, it'll be Ahsoka Season 2, but to the normie fan, it'll be Starfighter, because Starfighter is going to introduce us to a whole new world post-sequels, but Ahsoka Season 2 is going to maybe introduce us to our next major villain in the post-sequels. So I just think in terms of lore and in-depth stuff with the Mortis gods and all that, for us, it'll be Ahsoka Season 2, but for the more normie audience, it'll be Starfighter.
Derek?
I agree. Sorry, the dog stepped on my headphones. I think Starfighter is going to be the thing that makes or breaks the next generation of Star Wars movies and content, really, not just movies. Yeah. And I think it'll make it. It's not going to break it. Star Wars isn't going to die.
Ryan Gosling, how could it break it?
Well,
Nick?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Starfighter, but I like how you put it, Mike, because it kind of depends on what you're asking for, like biggest impact on Star Wars. Are we talking like in universe, or for us, like looking ahead? And in 5 years, I mean, shit, we only really know what's coming out in 2. So I do think I would speculate right now that whatever Dave's movie is also a big deal, because it's his first movie, like ever, right?
Yeah.
And then it's also like presumably the crescendo of this whole thing we've been working on since 2019. Like that could be a big deal, but I ultimately have to side with Starfighter just because it's kind of box office, like a big deal, sets up the next generation, like Derek said, new frontier, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of what the Mandoverse trilogy, or what you're saying with Dave's movie, will have going for it that the sequels didn't, is with the sequel trilogy, a lot of crap got thrown, and same with the prequels, I guess, at, the actors, but the characters in general. Like Rey and Kylo and Finn, a lot of people, and maybe unknowingly, went in with just, I want to see more Luke, Leia, and Han, but again, it's not their story. So they weren't open to these new characters. With a Dave trilogy, with Thrawn and all of our Mandoverse people, we already know these characters. So we're just getting like an extra bonus trilogy with them. And it's not like we have to get introduced to all these new characters and love them and fall in love with them and then have 3 movies with them at the same time. We already know and love these characters, so it's like getting an added bonus of knowing who Rey and Kylo and Finn were before the movies leading up to it for like a decade.
And I think you're right. Like maybe what makes or breaks it or the biggest impact is how they figure out their schedule of releasing stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe not necessarily one thing, because you're right. Like there were probably some things for people in the prequels or the sequels where if you had time to learn about or care about a particular character, to hit harder. Like it's sometimes it's hard to like put yourself into the movie and be like, this is significant if you don't know or care, right? So something happens with Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. Well, I don't really know him yet. Why am I upset about this thing? Or vice versa. And we live in a world where we're mostly all watching shows that give us hours and hours of developing and testing characters. So I think how they schedule around these movies and with what kind of projects to fill the gaps will be probably have the most impact overall, because it might be kind of hard to run like Mandoverse at its peak and beginning a whole new saga without the sweet spot, and then throwing in some animation in there with Maul and all this kind of stuff. But they can do it. They've proved it. So
well, to your point too, like it would be the opening scene of The Force Awakens is the death of Lor Santeca, and to us that means nothing because we don't know who that guy is. But if the Mandalorian trilogy opens with, I don't know, Fennec Shan dying and just throwing somebody anybody dying, then you have an emotional connection to that character and you're like, holy crap, we are in for a ride here. And granted, that does set up Kylo Ren to be this badass who's killing old men right away, but and they slaughter the entire village, but we don't have a connection to that entire village, so it doesn't matter. If the Mandoverse goes the way we think, then we will have connections with all these different characters.
Well, and I think that's why, speaking about connections, I think that's why a lot of the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian series, we get to know some of these characters, so it's a little heartfelt when they're, the Pikes come in and just start trashing the city and start killing people, and even the Vespa gang, when they start getting, you're a little bit invested in them because obviously, Boba has brought them into his circle and they're helping out, or even the Gamorrean guards, who get pushed off the, if they were just nobodies, but it's like, oh man, that's part of Boba Fett's, gang there, and they just killed these guys, pushed them off the cliff. So I think you're right. As we continue to go on and have some investment in some of these characters, once they do something good or bad or get mic'd, then we're going to have an emotional connection to that, which will be even better for us to feel for that movie. For my answer on this, I agree with Star Wars Starfighter for the majority of the 5 years, but I really think that everything that's coming out right now for the next at least 3 to 5 years is going to be very significant, because we have Dave's movies that I think will tie in with Ahsoka. Obviously, we have Maul Shadowlord, who I'm predicting, probably 3 seasons, if not 4. That's going to continue on. Cal Kestis coming in, Cameron Monaghan jumping into live action. If that does happen, he, like we talked about earlier, he's not coming in and doing it in and out. Maybe, hopefully, in Ahsoka, that would be awesome for him to surprise us. But as we continue to go on, whether he gets his own show or they put him in something, he's not going to be a one and done. He's going to continue on for a little while. So I think all of these things, and Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be around for a minute. Din might not make it through the next movie, but Grogu will be around for a while. So that's part of that 5-year plan as well. And if you can take Mandalorian and Grogu and take Grogu and put him into this somehow in the future, how freaking awesome would that be? If we get to see him in whatever comes after Star Wars Starfighter, we get this Jedi Master here somewhere, or whoever he is at this point in the universe at that time. But I think all of them really have a big pull for the next several years, in Star Wars. Even Ahsoka with this probably going to be. I mean, I would hate it, but I mean, I think this is probably going to be the end of Ahsoka. But we have her so much in the Clone Wars. We get to see her grow up. We get to see her character develop into what it is now. And if we lose her, we're still going to have Ezra and Sabine, Jason as we go along in the next 5 years. So I really think that all of these projects weren't a one and done, but they had a big, longer connection that they were going to figure out and continue to use some of these characters for the next generation, for younger people that are just getting into it now, or even people like your age, Mike, that are into it and dive into it and really like it. And it's like, okay, well, we can't keep bringing these characters back. We can't keep bringing the Skywalkers back or trying to tie into this. So if we have a really cool story with this Mandalorian or with this Grogu character or with Flynn Gray, as maybe a new Jedi, coming up, I think we have a lot of really cool things that we can explore. And there's so many different paths that they have already ignited with Maul, with Mandalorian and Grogu, now with Starfighter, Ahsoka, and Dave's movie. So I think all of it can really help as we go on. And I think that's part of what Star Wars was meant to be, because even when we go back to the original trilogy and you watch that, there's several different stories going on. You have the Darth Vader story that's going on. You have the Luke Skywalker story. You have the Han Solo and Leia and Chewie story. Then you have the Luke and Yoda story in Empire. And, and then the Luke and Darth Vader story, so there's all these different stories going on with all the different characters. And I think we need some of these newer ones to be solid in there, which I think we've gotten in again, Maul and Ahsoka that are coming up. And I think some of these new characters that we have, even in, possibly the Acolyte, maybe bring some of them in. I mean, shit, it's almost been an hour and 40 minutes before we even mentioned the Acolyte. Damn, I think that's
no. Mike said it earlier.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
But anyways, I think that once we get these really great characters established, look at Andor. Look at all the new characters that came in during Andor that were freaking fantastic, that put so much energy and were able to bring this story to such bigger life in these different stories that we had, whether it was the weekly or the two stories in each week that we got. It's just such a great time, as we've talked about, to be a Star Wars fan. And with this new leak or rumor or whatever coming out saying they're going to do a movie and two other projects, whether the live action, animation's still going to come out. So Disney's going to be around for a long time, and I think Star Wars is as well. And I think the combination there has just been fantastic for us to just continue to get good content. That's my soapbox.
Well, while you were talking, you mentioned that Ahsoka season 2 most likely will be the last we see of Ahsoka. So, and you're like, oh, we have a ton of Ahsoka, Clone Wars and everything. So I was curious to see, how much screen time Ahsoka has and how much just in general. I found a website that has all characters in Star Wars sorted by most screen time to least screen time. And it's very shocking who the top 10 are. I'm not going to lie.
Let's do it. I want to. This
all
is
right.
awesome.
You guys want to guess?
Yeah.
Are we going 10 to 1?
Sure. I got like every character in existence on this list. And I know for a fact
every Star Wars character in canon, I'm guessing.
Yes.
The top 10 are all canon.
It's ever been on screen.
Screen time, yeah.
Okay.
The most, I won't tell you the name, but the most is 11 hours, 38 minutes, and 59 seconds of screen time.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan is a great guess. Obi-Wan is at number 5.
Whoa!
9 hours.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's
I will tell you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of the top 12, there's 4 you will never guess.
Ever.
I mean, maybe, but very unlikely.
R2-D2.
R2D2 is like I'd say 25-ish. It's not numbered.
Wow.
It's not numbered, but
Papa Boz, sorry.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
I would think because of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka racked up some hours.
Ahsoka is number
Yeah.
2 all
Yeah.
time. Almost 11 hours.
I would have to say I would figure that Anakin probably had to, because you have Anakin in all 3 movies, you have Anakin in all of the Clone Wars, you have Anakin in Ahsoka, so he's got to be up there.
Anakin is number 1.
Okay.
That counts
was the-
Darth Vader too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I wasn't gonna do that
Yeah.
because
Anakin, Ahsoka.
Anakin's
Wow,
gone.
that's crazy. And
So
R2's
Anakin and Ahsoka are 1 and 2.
Obi-Wan's 5, so we have a 3 and a 4.
It's 5.
Padme's got to be up there, I would say, in the top 10.
Padme has more than R2D2, but she's probably at 20-ish.
Oh, wow.
C3PO.
C3PO is like 30, maybe. Lower than R2D2.
Maul. What about Maul?
Maul is lower than C3PO by 2 spots.
Oh.
Okay.
See, April said
Yoda?
Yoda, and I would say no.
April.
Yoda's got to be low.
Yoda is in between R2 and C3PO. He's lower than R2, but higher than C3PO.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We did see a lot of them in the Clone Wars.
Trying to think. Chewie,
What about?
but he's got to be low.
Oh, yeah.
Chewie
No.
is
Well, yeah, we don't see
Probably
him in the
like-
Clone Wars.
in the 50s, maybe. I don't know.
Definitely
He's low.
not Luke.
Are there
Luke?
any other prequelers in there?
Well, I'll say Luke was 1 spot above C3PO, so he's lower than Yoda and R2D2.
Man.
Are there any other prequels
Rex.
in the top 10? Top 10, no. Rex is number 14.
Trying to think who's in the Clone Wars the most.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with Rex.
How much time
Is-
did Plo Koon get in there in the Clone Wars?
No, he wouldn't be.
I wish these were numbered. Plo Koon, I'm not even seeing in like the top
Okay,
100.
You said we'd never guess.
Yeah, they're really hard. A couple of them are really hard.
Chewie's trying to guess.
There's some you could guess, but there's some that are really hard. I would say stay on the track that you're on with the animated side of things.
Yeah, that's what I would figure.
What about
Or just-
Ezra?
Just the TV show side of things, just because, there's more time there.
What about Ezra?
Ezra guess, great guess. Ezra is number 3.
Whoa.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
He just
Oh.
constantly on screen in Rebels or what?
He must be in every scene.
Interesting. What about
Yeah.
Din Djarin?
Din Djarin is number 7.
Okay.
7 all time is the Mandalorian.
Okay. That's crazy.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. 3, 6, and 8 you will never guess. 9 you could get. 10 you could get. 10 you might not be able to get. 11 you could get. 12 you can get. 13 you could get. 14 was Rex.
Cassian, yeah. Cassian Andor.
Cassian was number 15 right after Rex.
Okay. And he would be the most in Andor, I would think, right? Because I don't
Yeah,
think we
because
saw.
Andor is a lot of runtime, but he's not even in every scene, so it's
Right. Right. But there's not a lot of other people that take up a lot of time in Andor like he did.
yeah, exactly. He's the most in Andor for sure.
Sabine or Kanan?
Kanan Jarrus is number 11,
What about
and
what about
Sabine
Din?
Wren is. They guessed Din already.
Oh,
He's
okay.
number. He's number 7.
Oh, okay.
Sabine Wren is number 9.
Huh.
Wow. That's
So, I'm-
Rebels crew is just
Rebels
tearing
crew
it up.
is all over the place. They're number 3,
about Hera?
9.
Wait, are there?
11.
Hold on.
Hera is number. Kanan was 11, so Hera would be 15.
Wait,
Or-
you said okay. You said stick with Clone Wars or just shows?
Stick with the animation.
Oh, okay. Wait, what?
what about
Isn't there-
Boba Fett?
What about that kids show?
Resistance or Jedi
Boba Fett.
Tale?
Boba Fett is right above Luke Skywalker.
It's the characters from that kids show.
Oh, the little Jedi Academy.
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
In the top 10, it's Anakin, Ahsoka, Ezra. At number 4 is Kai Brightstar, the main character of Young Jedi Adventures. Number 5 is Obi-Wan. Number 6 is Lies Sola, Sole, another character from Young Jedi Adventures. Then 7 is Din Djarin. 8 is Nubs, the teddy bear guy from Young Jedi Adventures. 9 is Sabine Wren, and 10 is Kaz Ziono from Resistance.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Wow.
That's crazy. And then Kanan, Omega, Hunter, Rex, Cassian, Hera, Wrecker, Padme Amidala, Zeb, Cal Kestis, Tech, R2D2, Echo, Chopper, Crosshair, Yoda, Han, and then another Young Jedi Adventure character, Boba Fett, Luke, C-3PO, Grogu, who they have as Din Grogu, which is awesome, Maul, Leia, Sheev Palpatine, and Rey.
So how many episodes of Young Jedi are there? Because
There's
3 seasons at least.
Wow.
Is it kind
more
of like
Clone Wars?
But
Like-
it might be a lot of episodes. I'm going to check
I
right
think
now.
it's kind of like Paw Patrol. It's just like
And they're constant, like they are on the screen 100% of the time.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, season 1 was 25 episodes.
How
There's
long are
3
the episodes?
There's 3 30 minutes. Season 2 was 23. Season 3
30-minute episodes for a kid show? Damn.
Yeah. Season 3 is only 7 minutes. Okay. I mean 7 episodes, sorry. So that's a lot of episodes. And they're
That's pretty
probably
cool,
on
though.
screen for every second of every episode.
Yeah. That's wild. I would not
That's
have guessed
crazy.
the Resistance one. And
Yeah.
he got a little bump because he's sprinkled into the Mandoverse. I don't remember which project.
His dad is too, yeah.
Or, yeah.
But yeah, he is the main character of Resistance, and he's number 10. So 3 Young Jedi Adventures, a Resistance character, the Rebels people of Kanan, Sabine, and Ezra, Ahsoka and Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. But
I
actually,
figured he had to be up there with the 3 seasons and now the movie and stuff as well.
surprisingly
But yeah,
though,
KG, I've never watched it, and because
I've never
because
seen
that
it.
is like very very kids oriented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Correct.
that's like, hey, let's be
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
I've seen a few, and like, it is. I mean, it's true. Like the episode that I saw was like they were fighting a monster, and like it's this big beast on some planet. And they're like, but let's be friends with them. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
The character development sucks.
this show
Hey,
sucks.
Kai Brightstar is my new favorite character in Star Wars. No,
It's
surprisingly,
prequel,
not more surprising than those characters being up there, but surprisingly at number 12 is Omega, a character we haven't seen in live action yet.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
awesome. Anakin Skywalker, Godzilla, 1974. Welcome. That's a pretty cool name.
What a name!
Yeah, wow.
Right?
You know, I'm gonna call BS on that list because if you played any of the games, Cal Kestis was on screen for
The whole thing.
my god,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how long.
It depends on how bad you are at the game. No.
Very.
Well, Cal Kestis, they have him at 3 hours and 32 minutes. I don't know where they're getting that number from.
That
I
Is it
don't
just
know.
all
that
the
doesn't even seem like
cutscenes?
enough of the cut time from the.
It might just be the cutscenes, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's no real
If you-
shockers other than that.
If you factor in, it's a little bit of a canon breaker, but if you headcanon that Rex is who is speaking to you in the original Battlefront 2, that might up his
Yeah, just a little bit.
leader of the
His-
501st is telling you what's going on. That might
It's-
put him in the top 10.
Yeah, it is surprising how little runtime very important characters have. Like Luthen Rail only has 1 hour and 28 minutes, and he's
And
like the goat.
And he earned every minute of it.
Yeah. Who else is very? Let's go. Thrawn only has 58 minutes of screen time so far. And Thrawn
Wow.
is
between Rebels and Ahsoka.
Yeah, crazy. Devin Izara's already almost up to an hour. Plo Koon's only got 46 minutes, and we love him.
Yeah.
Moff Gideon
Where
probably
was
doesn't have
Maul
a
at?
lot.
Maul was way up there. He was probably around like the 20-ish area, 15 maybe.
What about Moff Gideon? Because they only talk about him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Moff Gideon. I haven't seen him yet. Yeah, you don't get a lot of Gideon. Kiadi Mundi, only 26 minutes. Very controversial 26 minutes.
Yeah. Who knows when his birthday is?
Moff Gideon.
26 minutes of bitching.
Moff Gideon's 23 minutes. That's it.
Woo. Wow. Mundi has more.
Yeah, way more, yeah. All right,
awesome.
let's see.
That's a pretty cool poll. I like that.
It is cool.
Poll, but just the time that people take
Rook
to
cast 19 minutes.
and that's it.
K2SO is only 19 minutes. That's surprising. Kino Loy, talk about a lasting presence. Kino Loy is 19 minutes.
Yeah.
IG-11 is 18. Jabba the Hutt is only 19 minutes.
Now, you know what? Is this from Star Wars Screen Time?
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. It says Rada only has 10 minutes and 49 seconds, and that's not true anymore.
Oh. Hey, did you guys know that Rada's actually his own man?
I did.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That has become a meme.
Yeah.
The big meme coming out of the Mandalorian Grogu is that Rada is his own man. I don't really know why.
Actually, after seeing the movie, I think Rada's his own man.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
A big one, but he's his own. Oh, that was good. That was a cool way to wrap it up. I know we did. I was gonna. We were slowing down a little bit. I was gonna pop up the questions, but we didn't get a chance to do that. We think we answered enough questions tonight, and we didn't. We don't have a segment to, or we couldn't fit in the mic segment because there's really not anything right now that we can. Talk. I mean, we killed them off last week. We talked about that with the other guys. Maybe we can next week with Ahsoka, and we'll do that with you two because I'd be interested to see what or hear what you. Oh, we got 10 minutes or fucking we got 3 minutes. Oh, I said it twice. What do you guys? Let's go to it. We still have a bunch of people on here too. So let me figure this out.
Because they were dying to know who had the most screen time.
They were dying to know who was dying.
Exactly. That too.
No.
Oh. Yeah. No, here we go.
Warning! Not everyone survives the galaxy. It's time for Mic Drop, the segment where we predict who's getting eliminated, who's not making it out alive, and who may have just booked a one-way trip to the dark side.
The gong makes it every time.
That's my little 2 cents I popped in there at the end because I have another sound. So we talked about it last night, but Nick, I want to know Ahsoka season 2. Who do you think is going to get mic'd?
I think because I think Ahsoka season 2 is the end of that show. I think Baylan is going to get mic'd. I think Hera could get mic'd. I think in some capacity, I don't really know what her journey holds, but I think this will be the end of Ahsoka. I think we've been on borrowed time with Ahsoka ever since Rebels was over. I think season 7 was a gift. I think this show is a gift. So yeah, that's who I got in the mind right now. I don't think Ezra will die. I don't think Sabine will die. I don't think Thrawn's going to die. I think he's got other plans. So yeah, I think maybe people that we meet in the New Republic are going to for sure die. Like a lot. I think Thrawn's going to get big wins. But it depends on what out of this season 2 makes its way into something else, I guess.
Yeah.
And how much of that they clear up in this season. I'm just assuming this is the last one, but I could be wrong. So
yeah, I think we'll see some more characters in there from Ahsoka. They'll continue to be in live action, but yeah, I don't think we'll see Rosario anymore in this. So, but Baylan's a good one. That's interesting, and yeah, a lot of people are on the Hera bandwagon. Derek,
I think Ahsoka. I think we're gonna keep Hera through the end of this, but I think we're going to lose Jason.
wow,
The child?
oh,
That would be brutal.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
that-
die. I said
lose him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so with Ahsoka, do you guys both think she's going to die, or is she going to be left on Peridia? We're just not going to see her
Ahsoka's-
again, or do you think?
Ahsoka's getting mic'd.
Yeah, I think
Really?
she's dying in a honorable way.
Yep, like
Interesting.
Luke.
Yeah,
taking out Abeloth and they both
something
die.
selfless. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would be shocked if Ahsoka dies before ever making it to the big screen. That's the only thing I would say to counteract that. But I agree with you to an extent. I don't think we'll see much of Ahsoka after this movie or show. Sorry, but it would be crazy if Ahsoka, being the second most screened character ever, just doesn't make it to the big screen ever. Hera, I do like the Hera Syndulla one just because, she's got to go.
Jeez, out of here. She's hot.
I think Shin will become Abeloth, so I don't think she's going anywhere. I think Baylan Skoll would be a good one too. I love his character, and watching his screen time was only like 30 minutes or something on that list. I do want more of him, but I think he's likely to go. You know who I think's probably going to hit the bucket, and it's kind of sad because he made it 25,000 years, is Hu Yang. I think, sorry, I misspoke there. My bad.
Stuttered.
Yeah. Well, he's going to get like his General Grievous moment from what we've seen, holding 4 lightsabers and fighting Shin Hati. But I just feel like on Peridia, there's going to be some sort of big emotional death, and maybe it's Baylan, but I think Hu Yang would be the other one. So that's where I'm at. And maybe Zeb. Maybe Zeb.
Ooh.
yeah.
I don't know about
No.
Zeb. That would be
he's
like
flying the ghost.
I think what's tough about doing these deaths though is like which ones happen in the frame of Ahsoka or like presumably
Later, yeah.
heir to the Empire.
You said Ahsoka, right?
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like you could like who would go first, I guess, is really what you're thinking, or like
Hera.
yeah, and I think like Baylan probably wouldn't make it into some like other movie. Like he's more powerful of a character in Ahsoka, particularly.
Yeah.
And obviously Ahsoka is. But I can't bring myself to think Dave will do it.
Yes.
I don't think he'll do it, but I think he should.
Moff
Yeah.
Gideon. He's
Yeah.
gonna die in this. Moff Gideon.
Well,
Finally.
I think what's probably going to happen, or what I hope happens, is that Abeloth is in a prison, and she's in a prison like in a different realm, like Mortis was in the Clone Wars. And when Ahsoka goes there, and everybody else goes there, hopefully Sabine goes with her, and Anakin's there in a physical way because it's not the physical world, then Ahsoka will be like, they're about to leave, and Sabine's like, all right, time to go. And she's like, I'm staying here. So you could view that as like Ahsoka dying, because she kind of is, but I think she's just going to a better place. That sounds a little
Just going to a farm.
yeah.
Taking her to the farm. I had a couple dogs that went to a farm. That's the last time I saw them.
You'll see him in Ahsoka season 2.
yeah. I like a bunch of the ones that you guys have talked about, but my surprise is Sabine. I think she might sacrifice herself. I don't think we'll see Ezra do it again. I think Ezra will stick around. I think Thrawn will stick around. You don't want Sabine to go.
I think
She's
Sabine's
old-
going to be on
she just-
Mandalore.
She
Like,
just, yeah,
there-
that too, but she just cracked the top 9. She's got to make it up to top number 1.
I mean, I'd love to see her go, but like,
She just got her lightsaber. She just got her force abilities. She
does not. We've talked about this.
But I think we've set her up. She has good screen time in Rebels, but I also think she's done a bunch of things in this universe where she's been a little reckless, which that's who she is, but she's also very heartfelt in what she's doing now with the Ghost crew in Ahsoka. So I think that could possibly be a sacrifice as well, because I don't think we're going to do like we're not going to deja vu with Kanan. We're not going to have another Kanan do that, or Ezra, going off and being taken Thrawn with the Purgles to a different universe. So I think it could be, if it's Hera, there won't be Sabine. But I think that Hera's a good possibility as well, because that could definitely set Jason off, along with everybody else in the Ghost crew that has some ties to her as well. So,
and Chopper would be depressed as well.
Yeah, you think he killed a lot of people? Now wait till
Hera imagine. I hope they let Chopper be the one to take down Thrawn in the end. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, I don't really think they're going to kill off Ezra just because he just got back. He just came. He was barely in the first last 3 episodes of the last season, so I don't think his time has not come yet.
Well, and I think he could be, in that question we had last there, I think he could be a good possibility for the next 5 years. Like we're saying, he's in a lot more of Ahsoka season 2. And what a great character he is, an actor that he is. So he could continue definitely into this Mandoverse, where we have a good solid Jedi to either help or start to train along with other Jedi in the universe at this point. So I don't think that they'll get rid of him. Like you said, he just came along, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with his character, which will be pretty cool.
And it would be really cool and make Luke's temple more interesting if Ezra was a part of it, or at least some part of it, and Jason as well, and maybe Cal Kestis stops by for a few drinks, something along those lines where Luke's temple has more meaningful people to us, because the Jedi temple, we were just talking about Plo Koon and Ki-Adi-Mundi and how we know all those people. Right now with Luke's temple, we don't know a single soul except for Ben Solo. So to get faces to those names, or names to those faces, would be a lot cooler with Luke's Jedi Temple. And imagine I go back to the Luke Temple animated show. In Clone Wars, you have characters like Cad Bane popping up, or Quinlan Vos popping up for a little side mission. What if it's Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple and Ezra Bridger pops in for a side mission, or Jason Syndulla? You could really do some cool stuff with that.
Yeah, and that's what it would have to be, though. I don't think that you could have them in that school, especially since we know what's going to happen. I think that coming in, helping out, maybe teaching a class, or stopping by, having them drink the blue milk and rolling out.
They'll be on a field
geometry trip. 1.
They'll be on a field trip that day when Kylo Ren kills everybody.
Yeah, right. That's a wrap on this edition of Mic Drop. The predictions are in. Now let's see who survives the galaxy. All right. Well, that was cool. We actually got to get that in. So it's a little over 2 hours. Thanks, everybody, for being here again. We had a great chat. We had a bunch of people here tonight. Appreciate you guys spending time with us, talking Star Wars, whether it's the 4 of us or me or whatever, whoever else is here in the chat. Love having you guys here and seeing your questions and seeing your answers to some of the questions that we're doing. So don't forget, Mike's on tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. A guy who loves Star Wars. Don't forget to go check him out. I know you guys will, as I will probably as well. And we will be here next Wednesday. There's nothing really that we got going on next. We don't even know what the next thing is for Star Wars, except for the animated
Visions,
right? Yeah, Visions. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Look for leaks and rumors, and hopefully we'll get some things that come out in the next week or so. And if not, we'll dive into some OG stuff and see what's going on. So thank you guys, all 3 of you guys, for being here with us. I appreciate you guys spending your time as well being on here and talking to me and each other. And I think it's a good combination of the four of us here. So we're all positive all the time for Star Wars. So until next week, we'll see you on the next Star Wars Jedi Chat. May the Force be with you, and appreciate you guys.